now tuned into the Most High. Cloudy he is, true renegade. We are the real Shy Guys. Thank y'all for being here. You could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're here with us. So without further ado, let's get spicy and keep it a buck.
100 all the
Woo!
way. Woo woo.
All right.
So
First off, I want to apologize for the past one or two episodes for the trash audio. Like, we got to put that out because it's an obvious. This is still a work in progress, and you know shit's gonna fuck up, but we're trying our best to make it as legit as possible and give you guys nothing but the best.
100%. And the thing is, the people who was with us from the beginning's kind of gonna see that journey for us, right? See the quality of the stream improve. They're gonna see probably even elements of the stream improve. They're gonna be able to see us evolve. So I think that's a kind of a dope aspect of it. Just, and the fact that we're trying to be as organic as possible too. Like, a lot of this stuff isn't like pre-done. We're just figuring a lot of this shit out on the fly. So
yeah, we know we ain't shit, and we're not trying to oversell anything because we know there's such a journey. Speaking of which, I wanted to be innovative and fucking get an Elgato. So I got it. It was like lightning fast because obviously with the whole COVID situation, people are barely like actually supplying this stuff because everyone's trying to be a podcaster
Not
nowadays.
even just that. What people don't realize is everybody and their mom has to work from home right now, right? So everything that's related to this field is unfortunately getting bought out and price gouged right now. Like, this happened a couple years with graphics cards, like when I was building one of my PCs, right? Bitcoin mining was super popular. So all the graphics cards for PCs were way more expensive than they usually were because people were just buying them in surplus to make Bitcoin farms. So it's like we're kind of dealing with like the home entertainment version of what was going on with that. Like, webcams are out of stock. Like, I went to look for a better webcam, couldn't find one, completely out of stock. I'm trying to get a cam link for my camera, completely out of stock. Like, a lot of shit is just sold the fuck out.
I guess everybody's trying to take our idea and start a podcast or something.
Yeah, our original idea. Jesus, can't stand people.
Get off our nerves, man. This is crazy. It's unforgivable. So I get the Elgato, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so hyped. I'm telling Felix and the crew, I'm just like, yo, I'm about to pop it in. We're gonna check this out. I get into a voice call with them, and my screen just starts blinking blue. Like, it doesn't want to start. And it turns out I have an iMac, and no one told me it wasn't gonna work well. I don't know if I could get.
I hope
any
those
other
air
capture
quotes
card.
aren't for me.
I don't know.
Because I'm the only person.
No. I have a coworker too.
Oh,
he's
okay.
like, he's like big on streams and stuff like that.
Good. Okay.
And but yeah, nobody told me that it wasn't gonna be compatible. But I'm looking at this shit right here, and it has a fucking Mac.
So what that means is your Mac is just not it.
It's trash, dog.
But that's
All
fine
right.
though. I mean, it's all a process again, right? They're gonna be along for the ride. What I'm hoping is, and what I suggested for Cloudy, is the fact that his next big investment should be a nice standalone system, PC, something steady, stable, nothing crazy. I really do. With a very strong, suggest that. I strongly kind of suggest you focus on that next, but all in due time. The thing is, once we're at a point where we have all the materials and all the equipment we need, like jumping in front of a camera and just talking with you, or like jumping on a game and just playing some shit is really gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, once this one hill is kind of overcome, everything like else is where it's easy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You're 100% right.
Like, even with me and kind of my stream setup, twitch.tv true_renegade shameless plug. With my
Yo, get your mans.
Get your man. So
Get your
even
mans.
with like my setup though, like I'm not here today. I wasn't here a couple years ago, right? Like I slowly and surely's just been adding on to my equipment, and then it's put me in the position to be able to do a couple different things, you know what I'm saying? But like ultimately, like I don't think anyone is unless you're already, you know, in a semi-decent well-off situation, like no one's expecting to have a full-blown setup in like 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like there are people like T-Pain, you know, I follow T-Pain on Insta, and literally he was like, yo, got my stream set up ready today. All my stuff came in, and it was literally everything. It wasn't just like all my stuff came in and it was a mic, a camera, an Elgato stream. No, all his stuff came in was his computer, his stream deck, his Elgato, his monitors, his keyboards, his this. Like he literally just probably told one of his boys or someone he knew, a contact, hey, set me up. You know what I'm saying? And it's really that privilege that kind of gets, you know, crazy, and like kind of puts you in that position to really just be able to kind of take advantage of a lot of these sources and things that are out there for people to make money. Because what people don't realize is like, if you already like, and not to sound like envious or like a fucking thing, but if you're already like in a position like where you have some kind of clout, or like where you're already, you know, have some kind of notoriety, I guess that's a better word. I'd prefer to use notoriety over clout personally, but like, because I fucking, that clout word is stupid.
Yeah. I mean, clout is like, you know, throwing a shameless plug and some other examples.
You know, but that clout could bring us some shameless, you know what I'm saying? But like having that kind of upfront notoriety puts a lot of people at a certain advantage, especially in like the podcast game or just the Twitch game. Like, for example, Mighty Mouse, right? One of my favorite fighters. Easy has a stream set up. Easy jumps the ladder because he already has that built-in dedicated fan base, right? So it's like, you know, that timing, placing, and just, you know, who you are really can make a difference. But before we linger too much on stream setups, Jesse, I did want to bring something up to you.
Huh?
Kanye for president.
Oh. Oh, no.
Kanye 2020.
I can't believe that's still a thing. And we semi-take it serious because he kind of looks like he's taking it serious. But does it, like, who's helping him run? Like,
No,
does he have a team?
He's taking it serious. I mean,
he has a campaign team?
One thing, well, okay, so what I know for sure is he's independent. He'd have to go independent, right?
That means he's by himself.
Yeah, he'd literally have, the thing is he's going to have to make his own team. He's going to have to make his own thing. And the thing is what, you know, I kind of think he's underestimating what it takes, obviously, to be a president. I think a lot of people seen Trump do it and kind of assume that is just like it's easy. But what people's not kind of taking into consideration is Trump has a force behind him, right? It's never just Trump. It's him, his teams, this, that, and the third. So wherever Trump's lacking in certain points, like, and I'm not even talking about his policy or nothing. I'm just talking about him getting there. His team can back him up, right? Kanye doesn't have a political team. I don't even think he has anyone he'd consider to be a running, like.
Well, man, my boy can make some beats though.
Facts, right? Like, Elon Musk shouted him out because it's just weird. We're living in such a weird time right now.
That's super, super odd.
What do you think Kanye, like, as president would look like in the United States?
I mean, everyone has their view of what peace is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to figure out what his goals are, because he's definitely going to prioritize things more close to him. Like, obviously, Trump and Obama, you know, everyone has their own moral compass, and they have to do that accordingly. Obviously, there's going to be some hurdles, and they have to do things that they don't want to do. But, you know, Obama made Obamacare. Trump is calling this Kung Flu. You know, you choose You choose what you want to do.
I really don't like the fact that every moment he puts himself in front of the like a news outlet or anything, he's trying to downplay the corona. Like,
yeah, I mean, obviously he takes it serious on his side, but it's like he doesn't want to show that it's a big deal because it's like fucking up the economy and businesses are losing shit and da da da. And all he thinks about is money.
yeah, and now we're literally someone in office who values a dollar more than a life. You know what I mean? That's kind of I really think we're going backwards right now with some of this shit. Do I mean, think Kanye? Okay, how about this question? Do you think Kanye would look better as a president than Trump? Out of those two options?
Anybody would look like a better president than Trump. Okay. Anyone at this point, you can make a chair a candidate, and we'll be like, how comfy is that chair, though?
Yeah.
Does it listen to me?
Does the chair care about my feelings? Yeah.
Yeah. Chair is definitely younger.
Yeah. A lot of people's been complaining about that, and sometimes that's why I kind of feel like people like when people throw the names like Kanye for president or even Dwayne, like some people were throwing The Rock for president out there, right?
Man, like you can't just have a name and be like, yeah, I'll run this country correctly.
Right, but I would much rather see The Rock as president. I'd rather see The Rock as president more than the other two. And the only reason I say that is because if you see how he carries himself with his own work campaigns and just how professional he handles himself, that's the kind of demeanor I would want in office. Like I'm talking about requirements aside. You know what I mean? Whatever presidential requirements, office this, office that, right? I'm saying if we just had a pick of a person, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson is closer to that kind of Obama feeling, I feel, than anyone we have right now.
He has no political experience.
Neither does Trump. I'm sorry to tell you.
But you know, like his team's color is very powerful, and that's all I could really say about that. Like if you like, he has the side that has money, the side that has power, and the side that can be this delirious and continue to defend him when he says and does the dumbest things I have ever seen. But
that's not a good team, though, right? A good team to me isn't a team that just follows, right? Like I want a team of forward thinkers, right? A team of leaders that like if they see me going a slight wrong direction or steering me if I'm going the wrong, you know what I'm saying? They can put me straight. They line me back up, right? Like, I don't want a team that just agrees with me because I've been right? Or I've had a couple instances where I was right. So now every decision I make to my team seems right. Like, that's not how that, like, I think the most successful people have a decent kind of core around them. And I know a lot of people say, oh, once you get to the top, your friends get smaller, this, that, and the third. But ultimately, a lot of those people have a good core of people that like I feel like that's real with them, right? Like I just think in the whole thing where it's like Fauci, you know, Dr. Fauci was trying to, you know, talk some seriousness into what's going on, and Trump's first action was to get him off the thing because he was being too real. Like
he can't take criticism.
He can't, and we've seen that though in every moment of his career, like even between his reality shows.
Yeah, right. I've never seen him be like, "I'm sorry, I'm wrong."
No, I don't think so, and I don't think that's a good quality. I like people who's willing to admit they had an error. I understand that maybe in a business world, some people might not see that as. They might see it as a sign of weakness or as a sign of this.
That's not admirable at all. You just stated that you're wrong. Like, some people do have that mind state in the set.
Like, but if you're never wrong, how do you know you're always right? Right? Like, I don't know. It's just a flawed way of thinking, in my opinion, and I definitely don't agree with some of the things going down. I know generally we're never going to get too political. I wouldn't say we ever pick a side. but ultimately, like, when it comes down to things, I don't think Trump's a side. I don't think Trump's the hill to fall on us not picking a side, right? Like, at this point, I'd rather see anybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Biden. It seems like the more and more shit I see about Biden, he just seems creepier and creepier.
Yo, he's senile. Can we agree to that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He's kind of
like he falls asleep mid-speech.
like, I don't know if you've seen any recent clips of like Bill Clinton, but like these older politicians, man, I don't know if like they just done too much coke in their day or like what, because a lot of these guys, man, are some of the grimiest people behind the scenes, right? So
Yeah.
I'd never assume these are necessarily good people. I'd assume there's better politicians, but I don't necessarily think there's any of them like that are good people like that. But man, like Biden has just, I feel like he's not coherent. I feel like he jumps around in his thinking and like how he even formulates his talking points and things like that. Like, I honestly think like none of them is a good choice, but unfortunately we can't play the unfortunately we keep being forced to play the lesser evil game.
Yeah.
Because the good choices get swept under the rug because other people just have more whatever, whether it's more influence or more money. Like, and again, not to go too deep, but Andrew Yang, to me, even though he was speaking about some semi-questionable things, I think Yang would have been a nice fresh set of eyes in the office, as far as, yeah, people like Trump because, oh, businessman this, businessman that. All right, now we got Andrew Yang, who's an entrepreneur, a businessman, so he checks that box. Then he's also been somewhat of a politician, so he checks that box. He has that kind of experience. And he also has experience on the ground floor. You know, there's countless studies he's done and countless reports he's done of like talking to middle class families and lower class families and, you know, trucking families, that a lot of those guys are going to be losing their job once automotive trucks come in to the picture, right? Like, you know, he kind of wanted to set up that freedom dividend, which would have been like a $1,000 a month to every eligible family or something like that. Like, your pay grade doesn't matter. You can opt in or opt out, but no matter what, you get 1,000, right? I could be making 200,000 a year, I'd get 1,000. I could be making 10 a year, I'd get 1,000, right? It's just fair, right? Not because you make more money, this should give you more. Like, that kind of idea to me has always been crazy, and that's why the 1% has always been the top right now, because it's like the 1% of people always get the benefits and all the bailouts and all of this and all of that. Like, is ridiculous. Kanye for president. Fuck Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Who made that song?
YG.
YG. Yeah, we need to get YG on here just so we can. I'm gonna make a sound bite, and every time I fuck Donald Trump.
Yo.
Like, dead ass. I don't even care, dog. Like, you gotta go.
Like, no sponsor. This is brought to you by
Fuck DonaldTrump.com, bitch. No.
Oh my god. You think Trump or Biden would win in a fist fight?
I kind of think Biden might be a little scrappier.
Yeah.
I feel like Trump is all bravado. Like, Trump comes across to me as a trust fund baby that's really just gotten it all his whole life, right? Like,
yeah.
That he's literally, like, I feel like he's that way because he's been met with very little resistance in a lot of his adventures and his endeavors, so he feels entitled to win. He feels, and obviously all speculation, I don't know exactly how he feels, but this is how I'm assuming he feels. Like, I feel like he's a ball of entitlement from the day he was born, and then the fact that he became president inflated that entitlement 1,000-fold, right? Like, now he's in a position, once he's out of presidency, to then think about his business aspects, real quick, once he leaves presidency, right? How much power do you think he's going to have in the business field now once he's not a president? On top of the $250K he's going to get every year for free because he was a president.
That's outrageous.
Like
that, that itself is outrageous. Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, he has blind followers. I mean, I hate to criticize or judge anyone.
He has a cult.
Who believes in this man, but he's not what the country needs. He's not what you need. He's not what anybody needs.
No.
He's just been feeding lies and being disrespectful and inconsiderate, and he's not seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah, and he's just not in it for everyone.
No,
right?
Of course not.
I would want my president to be someone that just has everyone in mind. Not saying every second of every day you got to be putting forth your best effort towards that thing or whatever. Like, obviously that's the hope, but ultimately I would at least like a president who that has you in the back of his head, right? Like, I honestly feel like once you drop below a certain grade, you are no longer a factor in Trump's plans.
Yeah.
Right? Anything he does now to appeal to anyone is because he's campaigning. Right?
Man, if he wins another term.
Are we saying if or when? Because...
No, let's not throw that into the air. Let's not put those words together.
Who's gonna be him?
Well, let's
literally the Democrats end up destroying each other, and Biden doesn't signify a lot of hope in the Democratic vote either. Like,
lesser evil, Felix. Lesser evil.
I mean, I wish I could vote for Andrew Yang, but they were like, nah, you too cool, get out of here. It's always the too cool people that they're like, nah, you're not weird or old enough, or you're not
too logical, get out of
here. You're not against the people enough. You want too much change.
We need more hate.
I still need my monies. Like, I fucking hate it, dude. But I was gonna say 4 more years isn't the end of the world. But let me rephrase that. I hope 4 more years isn't gonna be the end of the world, right?
Or at least the end of America,
right? Well, which is the end of the world to me, at least, right? Like,
I mean, we can move. He could also end the world, possibly.
Yeah, but that's right. But that's the thing. We literally
one button away. I'm sure he has a big red shiny button that'll fuck everything up.
We gave power to an infant.
Yeah.
Literally,
we gave a monkey a bazooka. Yeah. Like, what do you think he's gonna do with it?
A nuke. We gave a monkey a nuke. Like, multiple nukes in multiple areas of the U.S. that he has the control to press it.
All right, I think that's as much politics my brain and my heart can take for one day.
Yeah, it's I don't think we're gonna learn. I think the people that voted for him are still gonna vote for him, and because they're already delusional, I think, to have voted for him in the first place. But I do expect we'll see change in the next 4 years.
Things will in fact be different from now.
Yeah, so quick, again, politics is a little rough. I can't really stay on politics for too long either. It gets me a little just tired. Quick jump over to a highlight. Someone in the same field as us, a little further ahead in his progression, Charlemagne the God.
Oh wow. I was just like, who is this man?
Yeah. He's a little further along as far as his influence and where he's going, but read up, and he has a upcoming talk show on Comedy Central. It's supposed to be once a week. I'm not sure if it's gonna get that hot Sunday slot, or if it's gonna get a weird Wednesday slot or something like that. I could probably do more research on it, but he's going to host, I believe, his own 30-minute talk show. So similar to, I guess, the Wendy Williams show. In essence, we'll have a Charlemagne the God show. not titled that. I don't think they dropped a title for it yet. But I mean, I'm always about someone getting a bag, right? Like,
yeah, of course. I'm never gonna knock somebody from getting their money, but how many Wendy Williams shows are we gonna
I
need?
would prefer. I mean, if it's any consolation, I would prefer a Charlemagne the God talk show over a Wendy Williams talk show.
I mean, if we had a choice,
If
absolutely.
I had to choose, which now we're gonna get a choice. I mean, I don't watch Wendy Williams now, period. But
yeah, I mean, I don't even watch cable. It's on cable, right?
It's on cable, yeah. The most I catch is if there's any random clips that pop online and shit like that. But I think Charlemagne the God though is a good example of someone who makes good decisions and good timing, and kind of someone who is a prime example of using their freedom of speech to their advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially knowing Charlemagne. Like, if he's gonna do a show, he has to make this as spicy as possible.
Yeah,
like,
I really
he has
hope
to say what he means and means what he says.
Exactly, right. And on that same note, I really hope he's not censored by Comedy Central, because then I think that, which Comedy Central has a past of doing, catering their content a certain way. Because then you lose Charlemagne, right? Like, not saying I'm his biggest fan, but I'm not a hater towards him. I listen to his podcast with Andrew Schultz every now and then. Brilliant Idiots.
Hilarious.
Yeah. It's funny ass dude. He's raunchy as shit. Andrew Schultz is raunchy as shit.
That's my kind of humor, but I guess to the PC side, it's like frowned upon sometimes. But
that's the thing, right? And that's something we're gonna have to decide, right? Do we want to develop our brand based on the thing is, I feel like if we're too PC, that's ultimately a shell of ourselves, because I think us in our core isn't PC.
Yeah, I think it's a front. Yeah, like
I think
you're gonna see something funny, and then you're with a circle that doesn't think it's funny, and then you have to be like, oh no, instead of like cracking up.
Like, couple things we can check off the box. We're never getting a Disney sponsorship. We're never getting a Pixar sponsorship. We're never getting a Nickelodeon. We're still never getting Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, none of that.
We can maybe Cartoon Network,
Adult Swim,
Adult Swim. We'll settle with Adult Swim.
Yeah. But I really think if like Comedy Central kind of does their thing, and like, I think what Comedy Central needs to do is just host Charlemagne on their network, right? Versus produce Charlemagne on their network. Like, let him call shots. Maybe not necessarily in set design and all that shit. Like, let whoever's in charge of that do that. But when it comes to what he talks about or how he talks about it, I really think Comedy Central needs to just take the step back and just have his back, right? Even if he says something that might be a little offhand.
Outrageous.
Yeah, a little outrageous offhand, right? I really think Comedy Central can benefit from having his back and saying, we support our broadcaster and we support his opinion. We may not share the same views towards things, but we're a network who's going to allow him to do his own thing. You know what I mean? I think that's where a lot of places shine, right? Like, once these networks started letting Dave Chappelle do whatever the fuck he wanted, you got great content.
Yeah, you can't limit a creative. That's the thing. You're jeopardizing the content.
You're watering down the vision. You're literally watering down the vision. Like,
sure, they'll compromise, but like, that's not their full wholehearted image.
No, that's not not them. Yeah, 100%. And like, doing a job, and then that's when it becomes a job too, and you can tell people get disconnected. Like,
yeah, because you have Big Brother like always keeping an eye on you, and then if something's out of line, they're gonna say something. You gotta change it.
Like, and to sum that up, what I would want from the show is, I don't want another Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel. Right? I want Charlemagne the God. Like, let him, because we have enough Kimmels, Fallons, what's the Corden dude or whatever?
James Corden.
Yeah. Which
Stephen Colbert.
They all have their own essence, but those guys to me is like you can pick them out of a hat.
Yeah,
And plays anyone on either's network. Right,
Yeah, we have the talk shows.
And no, right, exactly,
right. We have the highlight video clips with ridiculousness and funny home videos and
exactly
like all that. Like, so what is he gonna bring that's different?
Like, you can literally pick up Fallon, drop him in a Kimmel seat, and it's the same show. Ultimately,
you'll never know the difference.
You'll never know the difference. I think, and that's the thing. Even that YouTuber that got famous ended up getting a talk show. Superwoman, something Singh.
Oh, it starts with L. Lily.
Lily Singh, yeah, her, right? Which her YouTube content had its following base, but she's not ready for the talk show. I don't know if you've seen any clips or anything from her specifically, but I can tell you right now, they're kind of cringeworthy in the fact that you can tell she's like trying too hard, right? Mm-hmm. Like, to kind of draw a parallel, right? On some of my earlier YouTube videos, when I rewatched and kind of got a feel for exactly what I was talking about, I could tell, like, I could tell from my videos that it felt like I was reaching for something, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was what I thought I should be like on the camera or what I feel like people might be interested on the camera. And I think that's a huge mistake.
Yeah, because it almost turns too much into a performance.
It's a performance. And then a performance, unless you're a hell of an actor, looks like a performance. Yeah. Right? That's why actors have their job, because they can turn the performance into something that seems natural. Right? Mm-hmm. And I literally think if anyone has that creative bone or that creative itch, like, finding your true self and then being your true self in your art form is the biggest payout you'll do for yourself and your quickest shortcut to becoming successful, because at the end of the day, if there's 1,000,001 versions of you, why are they gonna watch you, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. People definitely try to hyperextend their personality or just become a completely different person when
I wouldn't even suggest necessarily becoming a caricature, right? Like, yeah, you can be excited and you can be, you know, you can have that upbeatness, but let that come from who you are, right? Like, I know me, sometimes I'm a passionate talker, right? Or like I'm goofy or I'm funny, right? So where I need to let my things maybe just out and be free in front of the camera is where I'm funny and where I kind of get into what we're talking about. Like, that's where I know, like, oh, okay, this is my lane. If you find your lane and you can be your true self in that lane, I think you'll always get to some goalpost. Maybe it's not the upper echelon where a lot of people seem to be so fixated on, but you'll start to reach people that just appreciate authenticity.
Right. I mean, that's the name of the game. Like, if people are watching and listening to your content over and over and over, at the end of the day, they want to know who you are, because they're going to be a fan. But if you give them a deeper view of who you are and your personality, that's how people like get to know and love you. Like, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's why people vlog every day. Well, one, because they definitely love the attention, and you know, like, it's definitely a fact that at the end, like, we all enjoy relationships, some way, shape, or form. Connection.
I think that's the bigger word. I wouldn't even say relationship as much as connection, because even if I watch blogs and like, well, I feel like I'm watching it through different eyes, so it's hard for me to use myself as a reference point. But what I can say for sure, and again, yeah, I think, like, kind of what you touched on briefly, I think part of vlogging is a mental issue. I think, like, the fact to feel compelled to put yourself on camera every day and, like, I'm doing this. I know some of it's out of necessity because you're trying to keep up with what YouTube has going on, and then some of it's out of just the fact that, you know, but even part of me, I think something's up with me, because I don't mind being on camera necessarily. Like once I come through and I let myself be myself, like, a camera's never the issue for me. Like, once I get past that little inner hump. But now I'm gonna think about that, right? Because I wouldn't, I wouldn't mind vlogging, but I wouldn't know. I know I'm not a daily vlogger. Like that just sounds like way too much fucking work to me.
Can you imagine being a daily vlogger and not having any fans, and someone could just literally click and have a window view of your life, like just a random person,
creeper, yeah, and that like I'm creeping on you.
Yeah, like at least they have like high income, like they're getting money for you watching. Like you're getting probably like 30 cents for one guy to just creep on you every day, know exactly where you go to eat, what you do for fun, this and that.
It's a big safety issue for sure. I think it's a big safety issue too. Exposure's important though, man.
Yeah, it is.
Getting content out there is important, but that doesn't mean it has to be a vlog for sure. It can be other things.
Yeah, man. I can't stand when people are in my business. Yeah. So, like, if you're in my circle or if you even know me, like on the social media, like I don't really post. I don't really share. I don't really do shit like that. I mean, unless it's like maybe like a pivotal situation or like a holiday or something, a special occasion, whatever. But I'm not posting like I barely post like every month. I'll probably skip a couple months, do a post, skip a month, post.
Yeah, my Instagram's pretty dead too. I focus more on every other one of my Instagrams. Like anything that has to do with anything else, I focus way more on than just my personal Instagram. Like my last picture was probably a month or two ago, and then before that a couple months. And then before that, probably a couple months. Like all of my pictures, like I have so few pictures. You can scroll and reach my first picture I ever put on Instagram.
Wow.
Like 6 years ago. Like
yeah, my first profile got hacked. Damn, that's such a sad memory.
Oh, it did. I remember. I think I hit you up. I was like, "Is this you?"
Yeah, yo, like when did you become this black chick on the? I was like, they took everything, my pictures, my follows, everything was at 0. I was like,
You didn't try to like reach out to Instagram and get it back, or you just didn't care?
All right, so that was the second or third time it happened. Like, I don't know if I had
with that same account?
Yeah, like so the first time it got hacked, I noticed it. I did the whole email process. They're like
confirmed you all that stuff.
They're like write something on a piece of paper and then just like put it next to your face so we know it's you. And I did that. I got my account back, and then I don't know if it was a couple weeks or a couple months later it happened again. But I was so caught up in shit that I didn't notice, and I wasn't on my social media. So by the time I saw it, I couldn't log in. It was a completely different username at like everything, and everything was like completely reset, and I was like so sad.
Damn, that's a big oof. Jesus.
Yeah, my girl at the time made me start a new one, so I did.
Oh.
Anyways.
Shane, once you reaching out to none of them old hoes, you know what I'm saying?
What? Nah, I'm not even like that, ladies. If you want to hit me up, it's 4.
Ladies, just go to the DMs. It's easier.
Yeah, it's way easier. Technology, you know.
Not mine though. I'm taken. Sorry.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Your last post said fiance.
You know, I've actually got a lot of messages about that.
I bet you did, motherfucker. What's that all about?
Nah, why not?
You know? What do you mean, why not? What the fuck does that mean?
Bro, we've been together a long time. I mean, it's been a year, over a year and change.
Whoa.
But my personality is I'm an all-in kind of person. So the energy I've put into the time we've already been together is like it kind of amplifies it, right? So in my head is like I feel like if you don't know, and I'm not saying you need to know in the first year, 2 years, 3 years, but if you're 5, 6 years in and you don't know yet, I think you're kind of wasting your time. Like, and people change over time, right? So I'm not doubting that she's not going to be the same person I knew a year or two ago in 5, 6, 7 years. Like, I understand people change. I've changed. I'm a completely different person than I was a couple years ago, probably, right? Like, and just in the facts of I'm more refined, like, I know me more, you know what I'm saying, than I did then. So it kind of I come off a little different than I did then, because a part of who I was even during college was it was rooted in insecurities and shit like that. So even me now, once I kind of got over a lot of that BS and kind of found me, like I'm a different person now. But like, yeah, I mean, I did propose. She did say yeah. So that's great. But I do feel, thank you. I do feel like if I don't know now, I'm not gonna know in a couple years. Like, but that's the person I am. Like, every decision I make is calculated. Unfortunately. Right? Unfortunately.
It's a plan at the end of the day.
Not even like as a plan, but like I put the thought into it. Like, I don't jump into anything. Like, I sit there and I ponder and I say, okay, what's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Well, where am I? Where's, like, I always weigh my options in everything I do. So, like, in weighing those options, and not to make it sound like it was a calculated decision to propose or anything like that, but I figure before everyone proposes, they weigh your options and look at a list of pros and cons and shit like that, and kind of
figure man, you just gotta follow your heart like a fucking Disney movie.
Nah, I follow my gut though.
I mean, that's very anime of you.
Yeah, I follow my gut, and I mean, it hasn't steered me wrong yet. So, she's shown me that she's the type of person who commits and who is very caring and understanding and non-judgmental, and that's kind of really all I can.
Those are prime qualities
hope for, right? Yeah. Like, I have to have a partner that isn't going to judge me when I come up with weird ideas or decisions or try to figure shit out, right? Or have someone who's going to grow with you, and I don't want to be, not to throw age in it, but I don't want to be necessarily dating at 35, 40. You know what I mean?
No, of course not. Yeah, I'm about to hit 30, and I'm just like, I'm at the point where, like, let's see, if I'm not looking to settle down, I'm just not gonna get married.
And the thing is before I met her, I was fine with not to make it sound so grim, but I was fine with dying alone, right?
When you put it like that, it is grim.
Yeah.
Like, you could have been like, I'm okay just being by myself or being with me,
which ultimately leads to dying alone, right? I'm being real.
You didn't have to jump to that conclusion. Like, yeah, it's all right. I could die alone.
I was okay with being alone, right? I was completely content and even satisfied with what I was doing, where I was going, and kind of how I was doing things, right? And then I met her, we started talking, we started going out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, damn, that picture isn't as realistic to me anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like, unfortunately, now I don't see myself in that situation. Right? So, and again, yeah, she's dope. That's kind of down to it, I found someone who's dope. We enjoy similar things, but we're different. We're not the exact same person, so I don't have to deal with me, right?
You know how creepy that is? Like, to have a mimic, like a spitting image of you? But that's what some
people look for, right? Some people look for someone they can do everything they want to do with all day long. And I'm like, that's not me. Like, she enjoys her things, I enjoy my things, but we also have things in common, and we learn things from each other, right? Like, I don't think anyone should jump into a partnership with someone like them. I always think you should, because you're not going to grow that way. You're literally just being with a version of yourself. Like, and that's kind of gross sounding.
It's like, damn, I'm dating my sibling right now.
Right? Like, ugh. Like, are you my cousin?
Yeah, it'd be so much worse if you guys actually, like, look similar to. Oh, fuck out of here with those couples. I'm sorry.
I've seen couples like that. I was like, hey. Bro. And I've accidentally ran into are you brothers and sisters? Now we're going out. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, hell no.
And sometimes people just have that chemistry, though, right? So it's hard to... Sometimes people just have that really buddy, I've known you all my life chemistry. Doesn't mean they are siblings, but it does come off kind of weird. I don't mean to, like, detour the conversation. Yes, I did say fiance. Part of it was clickbait, but it is true. Because it just sounds better in the title also.
Shy Guy exclusive.
But yes, I did propose, and she did say yeah. I didn't think so many people though were gonna just like hit me in the DMs and like, yo, bro. You know, I was actually surprised. I was like, damn, I ain't talked to y'all in a minute. You care? like you care? You know what I mean? And I'm not and I'm not one of those people that's just like afraid to like.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I don't have the time to just cater to everybody anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
you guys trying to do like a quick thing, or is it gonna be like a ceremony?
No, neither of us want a ceremony.
Okay, good. Just get the papers done.
Yeah, we just want to get the papers done. I'll probably invite my mom and shit because she just, you know, she's
cause mom,
and unfortunately I know she wants that ceremony, and I, you know, I can't give that to her, so I want to at least give her something. I wouldn't mind if it went from a courthouse to like a little courtyard kind of thing where it was just chilling, barbecuing and shit like that, and that was the ceremony. You know what I'm saying? Where it was just like my boys, her friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Like something like, I'm never the big crowd person.
Yeah, I think this is why we're friends.
Yeah. Neither of us is like the big crowd people. Like, I can entertain a group. That's not the problem. I just feel uncomfortable in big crowds. Like, if it's a group of 5 people, I can entertain a group of 5 people. Like,
yeah, no, of course. I just hate constantly trying to like break the ice and
like, small
butter
talk.
people up.
Like, I'm not a small talker.
No, small talk.
If anybody's seen from any clips from the last 2-3 episodes, I'm not a small talker.
No, it's for the birds.
But kind of to jump back, you know, because you did mention, we were mentioning with Charlemagne and how he kind of just is one of those characters that kind of led with speaking his mind and being, you know, holding that freedom of speech bag and running with it. Like, I want to highlight something on Lil Wayne's podcast. So
let's go.
50 Cent, which is another person I'd say is of that cloth, who is only true to himself, and he doesn't necessarily falter when people from the outside looking in have their BS opinions, you know what I'm saying? And he's not afraid to speak his mind. So to kind of give you guys some back dialogue here, 50 Cent went on Lil Wayne's podcast, shout out to Weezy F Baby, please say the baby, and dissed Rick Ross, Meek Mill, and Jay-Z. It wasn't a diss to the What's Free song, which had all 3 of them on it, but more of a direct diss. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this screen up for you guys, and we'll jump right into this video clip and hear exactly what he said, and then obviously we'll react.
Spicy, let's get
it. And it's spicy.
Guaranteed.
You ask Banks, you ask yo.
So I'm about to make a skip
gonna say is
I'm gonna keep winning, man, and it's gonna be my.
Did it skip for you?
Minute 22.
I fought for a long motherfucking time.
You gotta
man.
say that. You
For
gotta
real,
keep
for
going
real.
and keep saying, you know what? But fuck you. Because you feel like that. And what the fuck? Like, sometimes we could express what it was about. Other times they didn't even share it.
Nah, for real.
So you looking and you go, wait, what you said? They talking about they held me down. I'm like, when did you hold me down? I don't trust you enough to leave you responsible for me, nigga. So I'm going, wait, when did you think you held me down? And I'm going, wait, so, oh, I get it. I thought you pay a nigga when he kills somebody you told him to kill. You want me to pay you because for moral support, nigga? I never heard of a nigga paying.
Yo, 50's a clown, man.
But he's real.
Yeah, but he's so funny with it.
Oh, we just getting our signals crossed. Because I'm thinking I'm supposed to tell you who to kill, and you're supposed to kill that motherfucker, and you held me down. If that ain't the case, I'm going, wait, my signals is getting crossed, and I apologize for my not understanding. But I do not understand what the fuck you think you did. Just held me down. at any point. Like you go, look, my instance is, and look, I stayed away.
I wonder if that direction.
Is laughing, bro.
Yeah, he's loving this shit.
Tunechi.
I wonder who he's looking at, like about, right? Off camera.
I'm just gonna say, if you represent prison reform.
Oh, here it is.
How did you sign to?
Let's go back real quick. Let's go back.
Because look, if you said to me, I'm not even gonna say who I'm talking about, right?
Please don't.
I'm just gonna say, if you represent prison reform, how did you sign to a correctional officer and you managed by a snitch?
Double whammy.
Ooh.
Help me with this.
Should we take a second right there? Did you get Did you get that?
Oh yeah. That was on Ross. That was on Meek and Meek's manager, who we all know at this point ratted on a cartel. Yeah.
Who basically spilled beans to get a lesser sentence, basically.
What's her name? Do we know?
She's fucking CEO of Roc Nation.
Oh, that's wild.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. You guys are gonna see a cut on the tab. Let's see, CEO of Roc Nation.
Yeah, it's crazy because even 6ix9ine was
Desiree
clowning Meek. Desiree Perez. You fucked up. You done fucked up. Well, I'm sure your life was in stake in some other deep shit before, but obviously now you gotta live with this for the rest of your life, which can't be fun.
Yeah, and speaking of Duke, it's hard for me. Like, I literally haven't watched any of Tekashi's music videos. I don't listen to any of it.
Oh, that's what you meant by Duke?
Yeah. Because I don't even want to speak his name, because to me, I'm not even of that cloth, dog, and I understand there's a code. Like,
yeah.
And I get it. Like, people was like, oh, they did this to him. They did this to him. Bro, that's what you signed up for. You signed up to be in a situation where you're surrounded by the type of people that'll do shit like that.
Yeah, what do you expect?
And I'm not using like a race car. I'm saying like gangbangers. Like,
yeah, straight up bloods.
Gang bang. Like, your girl got gang banged.
Yeah.
Your bank account got gang banged. That's what they do. Like, so then you get wrapped up, sent to jail, and snitch for your own, that's what you signed up for. You would not be in the position you were in if you didn't have the clout of being around all these gangbangers and bloods and repping blood. Like, who would Tekashi be if that song didn't come out with him on the block with all them dudes behind him?
Yeah, that's true. He had like the whole block full of gangbangers.
Another troll. He would literally... I wouldn't say he'd be a bad troll, because obviously he's good at it, but he would just be a troll. Like, he
pop these willies like a...
And it just irks me that such a goofy person can really be like in that position. Like, such a goofy minded person. And maybe he's smarter than I think. Maybe he's the type of person where you really do need to sit down and talk with to get a full perspective of what he's going on, but all I know is the way he carried himself and carries and continues to carry himself shows me the opposite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but bringing this full circle again, he posted a live clowning all the people who are calling him snitch. It was like telling them it was snitch. It was like, I know Meek for sure was on the list because of her. Freaking Future, I think, was on the list. A couple other names. So yeah, we were just talking about Meek and his manager, so that's a big factor.
It's hard to say Meek snitch, though. I mean, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I can imagine that just the notoriety of the case got him out.
Yeah, well, everyone's saying that if you're correlated with a rat, you're a rat, which I don't get. Like, yeah, you snitched on something, and we just so happen to be business partners or something, but it doesn't make me a rat by any means. I just know you.
And I wonder... Can women be rats? I felt like
a snitch is a snitch, man.
Yeah, no, I get that. A snitch is a snitch, but man, I guess there's just not that many women I feel like that get kind of highlighted like that. Like, rat just seems like such a I wouldn't say like to throw gender nothing in it, but like when I hear rat, I just think of a dude snitching. But
nah, there's no sexual orientation when I hear rat.
Yeah, it's just snitch.
Rat is a rat.
Snitch is a snitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but by that accord, right? If you're faulting him for being with someone like that, right? What do we think about Jay-Z's involvement with someone like that, right? Where she's the head of Roc Nation.
I know, but nobody could really touch Jay-Z but Jay-Z, you know? Yeah. Like, he did all that shit to himself.
Yeah, and I kind of want to hear more of what he's going to say, because at this moment, he hasn't specifically said anything about Jay-Z, right? If anything, that was a subliminal diss to Jay-Z because he brought up the fact that Roc Nation's head was a snitch, right? It's a diss to Rick Ross every time you bring up correction officer.
Yeah, I mean, but also he did that to himself too. He was a fucking correctional officer, okay? And if you want to start getting a persona, calling yourself Rick Ross and talking about kilos in Miami.
We know the original Rick Ross was an actual...
Yeah.
Okay, I know a lot of people don't know that. Like, the actual Ross was like... Rick Ross was like a honcho. Like,
yeah, like a drug lord.
Yeah. It's just, man, I'm a little torn on the situation because it's like... What if that's the only job he could get?
Instead a correctional officer?
Yeah, instead of working at like McDonald's or some dumb shit. Like,
so rap about different content. Don't try to be
but
more
there is
G
no content
than you are.
In corrections officer, or we don't know his involvement as a corrections officer. Right? I know there's a lot of bad motherfuckers as correctional officers. I'm sure.
I mean, right? I'm sure Ross would have dropped some bars about being a correctional officer. My thing is, doing dirty.
I know there's probably, like, not saying he was one, but there's got to be corrections officers in there that are, like, fucking helping people move drugs around and fucking helping people get easily. Shit they shouldn't be getting in there. It's hard to say that he was just in there beating on people or something like that. You know what I mean?
Nah, but man, he woke up, made a cup of coffee, and he just moved on with his
donuts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did a couple.
He looked like a donut guy.
He looks like everything.
I wanted yeah.
Well, not anymore. He lost a lot of weight.
He lost weight. Yeah. Good for him. Yeah. That shit is not healthy. Just being overweight is not healthy. So let's jump back into the video. I want to see if he kind of elaborates on that. So we already heard him throw shots at 3 people. And it kind of sucks that one of those shots was at Meek, because at the end of the day, I think right now Meek is just trying to do good.
Meek is catching so many L's though.
What's another one?
I mean, throughout his whole career.
Yeah.
With Drake and Nicki, it's just like, give this guy a break.
And that whole, shit, his biggest L was the fact that he was drugged up during that time. I think a lot of his issues in that whole era was because he was on drugs and fucking popping pills and shit. Yeah. And he's kind of talked about that a little bit. I don't know how much he's gone into detail. I wouldn't say I've necessarily watched countless interviews on it, but I know he's straight up said, like, he don't know what the fuck happened with that whole Drake shit. He was like a whole, he was in his feelings. The drugs put him in a certain way, and it's kind of sucky to use drugs as a scapegoat, but like, it's not like he was smoking weed, right? Like, if anyone tries to use weed as a scapegoat, I'm gonna look at you like you a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you weak. You a bum.
Like, you're either the weakest minded person on the planet, or you're just looking for something to get you roped up.
Yeah, but, go to bed.
Yeah, let's jump into this, because this is a couple minutes long. I'm not sure how much we're gonna watch of it, but let's keep it rolling.
Man, I'm like, look. There's no. I just look at certain shit and I go, wait, how did that? Because let's not say it's tough to say official. Right? When we look at things, we gotta sit and say, there's a lot of shit that's going on, and to make it, let's just make it, man. Let's just, in the journey, let's say success is for your life to be the way you want your life to be. Mm. And who the fuck knows exactly what they want? This is a journey we on.
All right.
That we're gonna figure out over time. Like, I tell a bitch, I said, send me something you want every day. Mm. Right? I said, a motherfucker don't want nothing, I don't want them around me. Because motherfuckers ain't about nothing if you don't want nothing, right? And as I start to look at the things that come in when you say, "There was what you want, this was for," first the little bullshit comes. So it's little things like shoes and bags and shit like that come with it. And you start seeing us. So that's what you want. Okay. You know, we could buy a whole bundle of that shit. We could call the motherfucker that made it, the motherfucker that designed it to bring it in. Right now, look at this. Look, you go. Got it straight from the nigga that designed it. He said these are the best ones. What you want the other ones for? Right now, look.
Don't necessarily know what he's talking about.
Once you get past those things.
So I don't know if you missed a little part. He's talking about, I guess, he was saying people's success should just be what they want out of life, right? And he was saying, I guess, in reference to the people he named previously or didn't name, subbed previously, like, how do you know what they want? You don't know what the fuck they want. Like, no one knows what someone else wants. So then he brought up, in the instance of a female, you know, you get with her, and the first thing she wants is, like, a couple shoes, a couple bags. Gotcha. And then you get her that from the designer that made it, like, which is the closest she's gonna get to having the best version of that. And also something he touched on that actually I think I liked is if you go a day without wanting something, I don't really want you around, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like, it seems like it's just lack of ambition.
Yeah, what do you want out of life, right? I mean, it's hard for me to put that notion on someone who just wants what they just want out of life, like, but ultimately, like, do you not want a better situation? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get him in that aspect where you want to be around people who want things, not necessarily, and it doesn't have to be shallow shit like shoes and clothes and shit like that, but that wanting of success or of financial freedom, right? Yeah. There's not one day I don't go thinking about how I can make myself financially free from the burdens of average life, right?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, at this point, that I don't think that's what he would be talking about specifically for these people, because these are all established people.
No, he was using that in reference to the chick. Again, he went off on a tangent.
The chick, right. Yeah. I guess that's where I disconnected real quick.
He went off on a little tangent, kind of just comparing that situation to a girl wanting something, I guess. And then, and again, not saying that Meek and them don't want nothing out of life, but he's kind of touching on he doesn't know what they want. He only knows what he wants, but he doesn't want to be around people who don't want nothing.
Yeah.
But and I can
pick up with a purpose.
Because that can like, I've had a couple friends that I've slowly seen our friendship, kind of just
a fork in the road. Just
I wouldn't even. But it's not as much as a fork in the road because there was a big ass rock there, as much as it's a fork in the road because I just started veering off a little bit and they maybe kept the same road, right? But like, you have to grow. You have to, like, at heart, I'm a gamer. I love anime, and there's certain things of me that won't necessarily change, but around that, everything at least has to change, right? Like, I don't know, man. I that resonated with me a little bit though. Like, you gotta want something. You gotta be with, like, I like people with ambition, I guess.
Exactly. You need to stay with like-minded people, whether it's like always trying to strive for more. Like, we definitely have friends that we've far surpassed and they're still stuck in their ways. And
I mean, and I wouldn't even say far, like, just far surpassed on just an aspiration level, right?
Yeah,
like,
people are still living with their parents. People are still like,
I'm aspiring for, again, I don't need the world, but I need something that's a little bit more dictated by my output, my views. But
it has to match the ambition.
Yeah. So let's see, because he's dropping gems. He's a little everywhere, but he's dropping a couple gems.
When you said, if she said she sent you a picture, she got 6 kids in the picture. 6 motherfucking kids. God damn! Now look, there's a column, Fortune 500 companies, right? Yeah. The smartest business people we know. the smartest business people we know. There's a column that clearly shows where their biggest losses were.
Okay.
And those losses are right in that section where it says married and divorced. They got married, they got divorced, and it cost them $500 million. $600 million. He said, what the fuck kind of loss you took? It was $600 million.
Jesus Christ.
God damn.
That is bread right there.
All you wanted was friendship. You paid $600 million for a motherfucker to be your friend? What the fuck? You was cool, nigga.
Shit, I'd take that. Give me that $600 million. I'll be your friend.
Oh, right? I'll be your best friend.
$600 million for somebody to be your fucking friend.
I get
when
that.
I look up and shit. We live in non-traditional times. We gotta be open-minded. We gotta think non-traditional. Half of what,
Yo,
bitch? If you don't get
Wayne is
halfway
dying.
the fuck out of here, you gotta get halfway on the plane. And let me see what happened when your leg is on the ground and the other half of your ass is flying. Because I don't understand. Half of what? Bitch, are you crazy? Like, I'm like, look, we have to find a ground, a place in this time where we understand each other and we're comfortable. Because you said half of what, my nigga? Like,
see, and I have a couple views on that. If it's someone who just showed up, I don't think they deserve shit. But if it's someone who helped you develop and help you
you gotta
make
go
shit,
right to
then
fucking first. And this shit better be good too. And when I look at the motherfucker, you put that kind of pressure on the motherfucker, and you said, no, you go. As crazy as I am, out this motherfucker, because I gotta figure it out. You go. You go do it and come back with some shit. You bitch, you better come. Bitch, you better have some bars when you come back here, because you want half. What the fuck is you talking about? Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm gonna be all alone, man. I already know I'm gonna be all alone. You're only upset. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. I'm trying to look at it. I'm trying to assess shit.
Clowning, man. He's so
old nigga upset about this.
Yeah, he's such a funny talker and a great like storyteller.
Yeah.
Half of what? You won't have to sell.
Yeah, his delivery is great, which, you know, he's a rapper.
It's a hero. Yeah. This is a 6-inch. It's a 6-inch sub. This is from Subway. This is not what you said. Half of what? You want half of? God damn! Everything I did.
Everything.
Wait. So this means every bitch that I hung out with, that I had fun with in the past time,
she need help.
It's supposed to be devastated after she offered her best performance. After she offered her best fucking performance, and I just wasn't in the right mindset to accept it. Now you saying give you half based on that. No. What we'll do is we'll have a great time. Do you want to have a good time? You want to not feel pressure? Financial pressure? Yes. We'll have fun. And we know the most expensive thing we spend in this lifetime
is time.
Yeah.
That's the most expensive thing you spend. You can't get it back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, man. Look, my apologies to everybody. If I wasn't talking to Wayne, I would not have said this shit. This is my public disclaimer for the shit that I said.
A little late.
Look, if it wasn't,
for real, that should have been at the beginning of
the importance of these type of interactions, because everybody's gonna see a journalist just trying to trap them.
Yeah.
Nigga trying to say some slick shit, and the next thing you know, the shit you said sound different to you. Because motherfucker said it a different way and wrote it a different way, or just some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, look.
Get filthy rich on Utrecht.
Wow.
Hard transition.
So we'll leave it here with the Tunchi up. Man, he hit on a couple things right there, but yeah, about the whole half of everything in prenup situation, like, I agree with prenups if it's like you got it and she just shows up. You know what I'm saying? But I also think if it's someone that you were with before you had shit, and also you kind of like, they were a part of you developing whatever, said product or whatever got you fortunes is, I do think to some extent they deserve something. Now, is half the right amount? I don't know.
Like, come on, man. What he say? 600,
600
500?
mil? Yeah.
Like that. Those are big numbers, my man. And you don't want a prenup?
I mean, half of any number you have is a big number.
Yeah.
I could have $20 and you want 10. That's a lot. Like,
it's half my shit.
Like, but again, I'm kind of I'm on both ends a little bit about that, because I do think I mean, if you got yourself a gold digger, you know, you gotta expect what she gonna come with. She gonna want all your shit and more. But if you got someone like, I don't know, I think it's a very circumstantial thing. But in his situation, I understand what he's saying, because anyone he gets romantically involved with at this situation, it's always a caveat. I feel like it's always gonna be, are they with me for ulterior motives? Are they trying to get a piece of the pie? And at this point, like, there was bro, was it the football player? There was somebody who literally, up until the marriage date, kept telling his girl, "Hey, don't forget to sign the prenup. Don't forget," because she agreed to it. He literally got to wedding day and found out she hadn't signed it yet, and just walked off the altar.
Wow, what a G.
Because, I mean, yeah, he all right to do that. Like,
what a G.
Because she tried to sneakily get married without signing it.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you guys didn't agree on it. You guys shouldn't have set a marriage date. It's the fact that you agree to it. We get all the way here. I set a wedding date. I make the arrangement. I spend $100,000 on the wedding because these people got money. They're not spending chump change on weddings. Mm-hmm. To find out you ain't signed the fucking prenup.
That proves you're a large motive is for the money.
You showed me your true colors.
Not all of it. Yeah.
Literally in that moment, like, honestly, her colors would have been shown when I asked her the third time if she signed it, and she's like, "Nah, not yet." Like, what?
Yeah, it's a really quick thing. You get a pen. It's like 2-3 seconds of your time.
Like, I can bring it to you. Like, let's go. Like, and the thing is too with that whole situation. Damn, I really wish I remember the person. But they were saying the fiance even tried to bring in her own family's, like, I don't know, what do they call it, pastor? Or
like a family pastor?
Yeah, whoever they knew that officiates weddings, instead of the person that the dude had already set up for, in hopes that they would get past her needing to sign the prenup. Because even the preacher was like, "Oh, under the eyes of God, you don't need that." Like, what? God's not protecting my bank account.
Yeah, for real. Like, why? That's the dumbest thing, man.
But it's from... I expect it from that guy, though. If anybody's going to say, "Oh, under the eyes of God, you don't need a prenup," it's the guy officiating the wedding that's, like, of the person's side that doesn't want that.
Nah, you know why? Because the "till death do you part" is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to get a divorce.
I think everything needs to be updated, whether it's our constitution, whether it's the amendments, whether it's the wedding ceremony and what goes into that contract, because weddings are nothing but a contract. Like, or marriage is nothing but a contract.
Why bring paperwork in the middle of love? I don't get it.
So, with that being said, is like, okay, with this document, it says now this, and this, right? So, it's like, I don't know.
Whatever, dude.
It's crazy, man. And we don't have to linger on that long, but he definitely went in on some topics. I think, and it's, okay, those were obviously subs, but when I say he straight up dissed Meek, I think he's kind of just coming at it from a perspective, like he specifically said. He was like, "I just don't understand," right?
And I mean, he just called them, like, like he just called him out on his like kind of contradicting situation.
Yeah. It's
like,
not like
look who
he
you're
straight up
working
was
for.
like, "Hey, Meek Mill's a bitch." Like he ain't do nothing like that. He ain't write no bars. He was just saying, "I don't understand if you do this and carry yourself like this. How are you surrounded by people that carry themselves like this?" That's kind of basically his critique on their situation, and I understand that. I definitely think that's a valid point because it's the same thing, right? I see academic, and not to bring up Duke again, but I see academics around Duke a lot. But that's the exact type of person I would expect to continue to surround himself with that type of person. Like DJ Academics is of that same kind of cloth.
He seems like he'd be difficult to be friends with.
Yeah,
like you need a tolerance to
like,
be friends with Academic.
But no, you don't, because how old we are, we don't have. And I wouldn't even say how old we are. Even when you're younger, I think you should be very picky with who you choose to allow your time to be taken up by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because as he just said, the most valuable thing is time. Right? I see value in what we're doing right now, so I'm willing to lose an hour plus, right?
Right.
Like, there's a lot of people that would call me right now, and I'm like, nah, not worth it. You know what I'm saying?
I completely agree. I finally figured out throughout being in New York and like getting colder and colder every year and more cutthroat that it's just so much easier to just not give a fuck about stuff like that anymore.
See, and I think so you're there now and you're kind of learning it, but you gotta remember, I was born and raised there for a good portion, so I finally already had some of that in me to some extent, especially because I can't go anywhere without my brother just exuding the most New York like persona known to man. You know what I'm saying? Like my brother is as Brooklyn as it gets. So it's like even when I went away from it, it was still right next to me, right? So like I definitely, and again, 50's of that same cloth. He's very, I think it's just people who understand the value of time and don't, and then the people that don't usually get left behind. Right? Because even if we break that down to and again, I like to bring it back to games and anime because that's where I end up spending a good portion of my time, right? But as I got older, I try to find ways to monetize it or to turn it into something so that the time I was wasting becomes profit. Right? You got to be able to evolve and just figure out where the value is in that type of stuff. Because, I don't... Like, getting a little candid here, I have a buddy. I wouldn't even say a mutual friend, but you know of him. Our relationship isn't on bad terms, but we don't talk as much as we used to. We don't move like we used to because we used to hang out a lot. We used to do a certain amount of things a lot, which is okay, but my mentality is I just can't keep doing that. Yeah, like if that's the only thing, I can't keep doing that, right? Like it's cool if, between us, like I would just like the friendships to develop as you develop, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to split your feelings when it comes to like finances being in the mix or like the gap between business and personal. Like I'd much rather try to avoid things like that because it like things like that alter friendships and that's like that's the end of it. Like I do remember like all of us being like mad cool together before the situation occurred, but this is how it is now and it is what it is. But there should be like a mutual code that obviously if there's a debt, just pay it.
Just pay it, right? And kind of to those regards, it's like I think people feel like they owe someone that friendship, right? Like whether it's an obligation, like on one end, I might think you're obligated to be my friend, right? Because we've been friends. But on the other end, because we've been friends, I feel like I'm in more position to know whether or not you're going to continue to be a part of my life, right? It's that when there's no growth, there's no progression, right? Like, whether it's as a person or with what you do as a person, if there's no growth, there's no progression. And a lot of people get caught up in that cycle of just being comfortable and wanting to do the same thing every day, being okay with working for someone else and making bare minimum to survive when the person you're working for is living his best life, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're all trying to play the get by game,
but we're not
like living check to check. But some people need that bigger vision, and that's why we progress.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right? I feel like, where does that detachment come from? What makes one person the type of person that needs to continue to progress and one person not? Because I feel like that should be something natural in everyone. When you're born, you don't want to stay a fucking baby. You want to learn to walk. You want to learn to talk. You want to learn to do this and do this. At some point, people just stop wanting to learn and stop wanting to improve or get better, and then they become content and okay with just this stale line, and then they're 60 and they ain't do shit.
Yeah. Would that be them being a product of their environment, or just no?
I don't think so, because no, that can't be it. Because we look at the environment Lil Wayne came from, or the environment 50 came from, or the environment
they had to join
Jake
gangs.
Came from. Yeah, but then at some point they outgrew it, right?
Yeah, but how many Jay-Z's are we gonna get?
Everyone who's been in the game, I mean, not to that extent, but I'm just saying, like, the progression of these guys being in their environment and kind of being stuck to that type of ideal and then finding a way out, right? Like, whether it's music or not, I mean, these were just the first people I thought of because they were, on the screen and talked about. But, like, if you think about athletes, right, or anything, I wouldn't say that's a product of the environment. Maybe that's more of an upbringing thing. I don't know if you're taught to be, or maybe that is something that's just like in some people and not in some people. But at some point, you stop wanting to do that. Because at any point in middle school or high school where you like, I'm not going to try to get better at something, right? Like, no, throughout those days, most people are trying to get better. It's like it's something about once they enter the workforce that just saps people. Like,
yeah,
because
I mean, it overwhelms them, honestly. Like, it's funny because I was talking to someone about like going to school as a kid versus going to school now. Obviously, you have way more obligations as an adult. Like, you have bills, you have you have a deeper personal relationship with people. Like, there's more scenarios that pop up as an adult versus when you're a kid. All you gotta do is worry about playing video games right after and having a crush on somebody and hormones,
not getting your heart broken.
Yeah, so it's definitely easier to learn as a kid versus as an adult.
But just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I think it's ambition at the end of the day. Like, how bad do you want it? Obviously, it's hard, and people don't want to break through that. Like, it's either physically hard, mentally hard, or you can't take the pace and duration of what you're trying to do. That's why most people don't want to go to college, because they had such a struggle going through high school. And they're just like, yo, fuck that. I'll work at a freaking fast food joint. I'll work in retail, whatever. And then they don't progress.
Yeah, like my college buddy Spicy Hot Sauce, he hopped in the chat last video. Shouts out to Spicy. I look at him and I'm kind of proud about what he's doing and what I see him doing, because he's effectively trying to improve his quality of life his own way, right? And I'm not saying everyone needs to take the route that like we're doing, trying to do shit our own way, or that he's doing to try to do our shit our own way. If you want to be in that workforce, right, and that's your way to do it, at least be one of the people who want to grow in their workforce, right? Don't want to be that lazy, bummy ass, like, person who just clocks in and shit all day. Like, that's not... And again, you can be whoever you want to be, but I don't understand any fulfillment coming out of that. Like, any self-fulfillment. Like, how... Like, bro, the minute... Like, I interview well, and I do all that stuff well, so it's not necessarily hard for me to get a job, but, like, I don't get attached to these jobs. I don't think these jobs are the end of the world or the beginning of the world, right? Like, I feel like some people get a job and they look at the job like it's a messiah, right?
This is it. This is my moment.
Right? Exactly, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, they get a job and they're like, this is it. I can finally know.
And if they fail, that's it. It's the end of the world.
It's the end, but, like, I just think, and maybe Corona helped a lot of people see that, like, you kind of need to have your own path, man. Like, obviously you need worker bees in every colony, but even worker bees can aspire to be a better worker bee. Like, where, like, and I know we're kind of jumping in tangents and going in circles, but I guess it comes down to just, like, where does the ambition come from? And if you have it, and if you're born with ambition, because I think most people are born with some innate, I need to do better on a daily basis type thing, but, like, then where does it go if you are born with it, right? I guess that's where I'm like 50, I don't get. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I think it also depends on, like, there's so many factors, like how sheltered are you, you know, how deep in the streets are you, who are you, like,
yeah,
what are
I
you
guess
around?
I'm not really considering, like, trust fund babies or people with parents that can easily put them in a position.
Spoon fed, obviously you're chilling.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not necessarily considering those people because I guess they're just not in my world, right? Exactly. I'm kind of considering, my point of view is always from my perspective, right? Looking out, so it's like, and looking in to me, but I'm kind of more relating what I'm saying to definitely people who are in, I guess, more of our lanes. Whereas more middle class and even lower class, where you have opportunity, but you kind of got to make your opportunity more than it's given to you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of talking about more of that lane of people.
I think this is a good point to say shout out to moms.
Yeah,
you know?
facts.
I think we both had crazy good moms.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how big the struggle was, they kept us on point.
Yeah, I don't know if I probably don't tell her that enough, but definitely just, and even I've made choices in my life that have been the better choice for me out of not wanting to hurt my mom's perspective of me, if that makes sense. And that's kind of led me in a better, and that kind of led me in a better, because at the end of the day, again, you have a choice. I hate when people's like, oh, I can't do this. I can't. Like, I just want to slap people that say shit like that, because I'm like, you were literally born with free will, motherfucker. You have a choice. Yeah, there's an easy choice and maybe a hard choice, but you have a choice. And, oh, I know what. I don't know if it was a light bulb, but I just think too many people aren't comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's adversity. People are afraid of adversity. People don't want to go the extra mile of hardship. That's what it is. Like, America is so built on being cushiony and comfy. That's why a salad will be $8, but a Big Mac will be $3. Like,
Big Macs is Fuego, dog.
Yeah.
$3. I'll be full, bro.
But, like, shit like that represents America. Like, it's easier to be fat, lazy, and just deal with what you currently have instead of reaching too hard and getting burned by the sun.
Yeah. Then, with that being said, then I guess I'm weird, right? We're probably weird. Are we weird because like
No, we're ambitious people. Like, I mean, honestly, we're pretty average. We're definitely not Kanye 2020 material, but we're definitely not like bums living in the street.
Yeah.
So, we're on the rise, man.
I don't know. Not to linger because we're about to close out this pod.
Facts. We wanted to make this short, and we're an hour and a half in.
Which is kind of shorter than what we've been doing.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
We'll work our way down to 45 minutes eventually. But kind of to close that out is like, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I think I'm my best self in adversity though, right? Like when I'm comfortable, I'm not my best self. Like, cause I don't even like to be comfortable in a way. Like I told my girl today, I was this close to quitting my job today.
Wait, was this the job that you were still looking for another job for?
Yeah, but I was ready to just up and like be like, yo, I'm done, because I'm not about people not seeing the value of other people. And this is, I can remove myself from the equation, but if as a business you carry yourself in a way where you don't see the value in people and you treat people like by the numbers kind of thing, like it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, like that's not the type of environment I like to associate myself with.
Yeah, I agree.
I've left jobs on moral standings.
Yeah. I mean, you have to know where you stand.
Draw a line. Yeah, and draw a fucking line, right? Like my job before this one, and thank the Lord that I'm blessed enough to be in a position that I've had multiple jobs. I know there's people out there fucking struggling to get one right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying quit lightly as in like I just have a million options and I'm good to go, but I'm saying quit in I think everybody should understand their value and understand what you bring to a table and understand that it's okay to draw a line, whether it's with friendships and family members or work or play or anything. It's okay to draw lines, man. Even with family, like I hate that the idea where it's like you just have to deal with some shit because it's family.
Yeah.
As much as like I love family and I love my siblings and my mom and shit like that, that doesn't mean I necessarily have to like you in a way.
No, you're 100% right.
We're all different people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think because we came out of the same orifice, you're like me. That's not how that works. We've all led different lives that led us down different paths. And again, it's kind of the roads veering, right? Maybe our roads started off like here, but as you get older and you become your true self, and maybe certain people stay at a fake version of themselves, you outgrow them and you got to draw the line. Whereas like, I'm not going to let you take advantage, or I'm not going to let you talk a certain way, or I'm not going to let you, like, I've been over friends' house where their family just talk shit to them. And I know sometimes the old tough love this, and I'm like, there's a line between you just got like a verbally abusive circle and you got jokes, right? Like,
yeah,
like being belittled and being joked at is two different things.
That's true,
right? And you have value in everything you do, whether it's in a workplace, in your family, in your friendships. Like, you have something to offer. And if you don't see the value I have to offer in any of those situations,
yeah, I mean, you could cut ties anywhere. Like, blood or no blood.
I'm not against, like, yo, I got things I got to do. And not to sound, again, it's cut. I know it's a little cutthroat, and a lot of people might be like, what the fuck? But, like, you got to, like, understand where your priorities lie.
Yeah. I mean, without getting too deep, I cut half of my family, which is my father's side, but that's for another time.
Yeah, we could, I mean, I don't talk to my father's side like that either.
Yeah, so I already lost half the fam.
Yeah.
It's
But
okay.
that's the thing. It's okay to have a small family, right? Not everybody needs to be the family that has family reunions every year because they lose track of who the fuck's in the family.
Of course, yeah. We all have 100 cousins and all this other bullshit, but you just got to know who your family circle is and who your friend circle is. I think that's the moral of this story.
Yeah. Find out your circle, find your path, and don't compromise.
Yeah, man. Draw that line and know what you want and get a prenup. Kanye 2020.
Prenup, Kanye 2020, and I'm not losing 500 mil ever.
Nah, for a friend? Nah, I got you for free.
Hit me with that friend discount, which is free 99. like, like.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
all
man.
Right.
Thank you, bro. I always appreciate these talks, and today was especially fun.
Yeah, of course. To another good one. Yes. All right. You already know who it is. Cloudy Heat is True Renegade. We are the Real Shy Guys. We love y'all. Be safe. Know your circle. Kanye 2020. Hit us up on the socials. Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, SoundCloud, Reddit, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Discord, so much, much more. We're actually going to get on Pandora, and we're going to be on Spotify soon. Stay fucking tuned. It's a movement. Get on the ride.
You're
in your mom's house.
We're always there.
All right. Thanks.
Watch this.